All right, we're ending the week strong here today. We gold moving in my favor for over 500 pips at some point and currently around 280, 300 pips, which is good, right? I shared this entry yesterday. It's not been the best of the weeks, like I explained yesterday, but I was looking at this as my final trade, and it sure was my final trade for the week, bringing me to over 2% in profit right now. And then I have some runners already with this. So it's a longer trade, you might say, or according to how I think about trading, this is a swing, right? And because I still believe that, we could still get some sell side on gold and playing this. Now, I'm not head over heels on this position, and I don't think it must be sell side. No trader should think like that. There is no certainty when it comes to dealing in this game. Right. But also, you need to be able to take your chances. You need to be able to play the game, which is risk, meaning I'm able to let my hand forward to get it beaten in exchange for collecting gold. So, no pun intended, gold in favor today. Right. And let's just kind of like look at, what has happened, because nothing much has really happened if we think about it. Right. It's really just the basic things, right? So we had breaking market structure going in from Tuesday, right? And then we saw a return back into the range. Now I missed this move because I wanted to sell at that OB, right? And you'd see that the entry from Thursday yesterday, right, was exactly that same entry, right? Which just goes to say that many times you get your entries missed and price delivers like, oh shit, it's left me. And maybe it's not left you still, right? So if you still have um reasons to still support that directional bias, then why not? Right. And in this case, it supported everything I wanted to see. One of the things I would like you to back first, if you've been following my videos and you think it's valuable to you, would be considering other blocks that have old highs very close to them. Like in this case, we have a bearish order block, and then we have this old high that didn't touch the order block, but then expanded lower. So it's a concept called POA, right? Premium offset accumulation. Premium offset accumulation. Let me just have that written here. Offset accumulation. And it's a run above an old high into a reference point, or POI as many people call it, right? And in this case, it's an order block, right? So what is really happening in here is early sellers would have jumped in and then have positions right inside of here, which their stop losses would be arraigned above this high. So there's a massive pull up buy side liquidity inside of here, right? And it's one of the behaviors of the markets to manipulate, right? In this case, run above a position, or come back to a position where movement has started to happen, and then take out those areas and then run back again. I'm not sure I'm explaining that well, but what I'm saying is it's a thing of the market to form a high and then at the later point take out that high to still go in the direction it's supposed to go, right? It's how all of the candles are printed. It says open, low, high, close. Open, low, high, close. That's a bullish candle. Now, that open already has a low. But what happens with the other low that's forming? It's taking out the prior low before it then expands. It's called institutional manipulations. Now, if you infuse that into this knowledge of premium offset accumulation, we already have a high that price is running away from, and then price comes back to take out that high again, but to still run in the same direction. So manipulations on everyone that is in here, probably that's not taking profits or has massive stops here, and those people are being breached, and then price goes lower. This did not just happen here. In fact, it's a phenomenon that happens 2-3 times every single week and produces good results. So if you backtest this, you'd see something good. Let me show you one more before we move ahead here, right? So if you look at this, you'd see up close candle breaking market structure. We see price rally here again, right? But doesn't come into that order block, right? This is the up close candle. This is the order block. Comes very close to it, forms a high, and starts to expand lower. You would agree with me that you've been in those trades where price starts to move. You probably have this as an entry. Price starts to move, and you're like, oh shit, they're leaving me, and you join in. right? And maybe you get a little bit of the move, maybe you make some money, but at a later time, you'd find that that entry that you initially highlighted was the entry that cost, the big move of the day. So as you can see, price returns back here, takes out the high again, offset accumulation, taking out every single early seller inside of here, and then still returning back in the levels that they would have missed. So it's very, very, very or it makes a lot of sense because think about it, when this is going higher, this is also going to start to influence buyers that, oh, okay, the sales have happened and maybe we are then going higher. But if you know your key levels properly, if you understand order blocks properly, this is an untapped order block, right? And then this did not get back into it. Now you check time, right? 9 o'clock, New York session, all of those things align together and then boom, sales, right? Also in this case, right, as we were rallying all the way yesterday, one of the things that would have happened in the minds of amateur or trend following traders would be that, oh, this is just continuing higher, we're going all the way higher. But I'm looking at something specific time. When is this happening? I did. I honestly didn't know when I was cut off, right? Again, I have to leave Nigeria. But yeah, let's just go on, right? These are some of the things that, happens here. Sometimes the network just goes off. But we are to continue. I was talking about, how you can spot the best types of order blocks, right? And I was using this as an example also, right? So we see that order block, see price rally very close to it, leaves it, and then returns. I was saying that, this move inside of here would influence buyers, inside of the play, which will have this as levels where pending stops would be rested, and then you see how price closes through there shows exactly that. Right. So today I wasn't even doing anything. I've really just been, rolling from watching podcasts to watching movies and just laying around right while this has just been playing out because I don't think there's anything I need to do. One of the things I'm trying to build right now as a trader is building the muscle of waiting. For the most part of it, it makes me feel like I'm unproductive because it's like I'm not doing as much or watching as much as I would normally do because I love the markets. I love to see how things are going. But I've also noticed that the ability to let whatever plan that you have play out without adding anything extra, without, removing anything makes the business much more smoother and it would make you feel like, oh, you're not doing much. But also, I think we have built a culture that is dependent on working hard to make money, right? And there is the idea that you can work smarter to make money, right? Hard work is good and all of those things happens, but the moment the execution is put on, especially in the game that we play on, there's not much to do than have your alerts tell you when it's time to pick partials or have your TP take you out when it's profits or your stop loss take you out when it's a loss. And then you move on to the next one. So yeah, I'm building that muscle, right? And like I said, right, what I'm taking you through inside of here in this YouTube series, as you can see, it's raw, unfiltered. I'm not, trying to form or show you what's not. I'm really just showing you exactly my processes day to day and things I'm thinking about to help, one person just develop the skill and the muscle to be able to do this, right? But look at that, right? We've seen this go lower, right? And I was able to take partials here, right? Which is good, right? And I think I'm going to bring to break even as the day goes by or before the close of the day. But I don't know. I would see, right? But yeah, that's been it. And I haven't really been looking at the currencies a lot, like I talked about yesterday, right? So I talked about how, and this is why, right? I talked about how this bullish order block can be a catalyst for buy side, but every time we've seen that bounce higher, we've been met with, much more lower prices. Like you see, that order block comes back again, act as a reference going higher, but what happens? Gets taken away, but also not still taking out this low. So it's quite confusing here, what this is about to do. But this is what I would say, right? Going into next week, if we start to close above this high, then this is my draw. I'm still very bullish on the DXY, right? Most of the reasons why I'm still bearish on gold, right? And if the DXY is bullish, then we would see the currency markets experience some falls, which we saw today. We're seeing, GU follow from those highs that was created yesterday, Thursday, right? We've seen GU crumble, and also we've seen EU also lose a bit of momentum, that it was having going into buy side. Now, again, like I said, if you look at all of this, it's still consolidating. This was Thursday. Was that Thursday? Okay, Thursday last week. Right. But this was Monday last week. And look at where we are closing on Friday. That's a consolidation there, right? No expansions yet. And here's why, I don't really have much, to deal with this. Right. What I'm going to advise you to do this weekend is take the weekend to spend time with the charts, right? The more you spend with the charts, the more you build the muscle of pattern recognition, the more you understand the exact things you need to do. It takes you away from hesitating. It takes you away from the certainty that comes with overconfidence. You start to understand that even if I had it all right here, I could still have taken a loss. Spending time with the charts opens your eyes to that, right? And you can make a path for yourself for the losses that happen in the business because it is part of the business. If you do not accept that losses are part of the game or is part of the game of trading, you would continually remain in the cycle of losses, right? And what you need to know is as far as you keep putting in the work, it's going to come out bright for you, right? And yeah, that's it, right? So you guys have a good weekend, and I would see you on Monday. We're still doing this Monday to Fridays. I'm still thinking about what to do on the weekends, but Mondays to Fridays we meet here, right? And if you need to see what we're doing, on the team chats, which is not so much though, I would share that details or just ask me on the comments and I'll be able to share that. All right, guys, bless up. Have a nice weekend. Take care of yourself.